Hello, everyone. My name is Raquel Valencia. I'm here with Solve as part of your Advocacy Week coordinator. It's really a great pleasure to reconnect with all of you today as we embark on another journey advocating together for ME/CFS awareness and all the other things that go together in that soup. As we're gearing up for Advocacy Week, I want to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you for your dedication and commitment to this important cause. You know, it's your passion, and the advocacy efforts really make a significant difference in raising awareness and driving change. And so if you have any questions or need any support along the way, don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me well, it's easier to reach out to me and we'll get you the help that you need and support you in any way we can. We want to thank you for your continued dedication, and let's make Advocacy Week 2024 a resounding success. And with that, let's see. I want to share my screen so we can go into what we're talking about today. So we're going to talk about the web portal. That should only be about 10 minutes. And then we're going to go over a couple of things like what it means to be a group lead, and what to expect at these meetings. That'll be next week. And if you have any questions, we'll have time then to respond to them. Also, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat as well. My team will look out for them. What I'd like for folks to do is, if you have not logged in to the Advocacy Associates web portal, please search your spam or your junk folder or run a search for Advocacy Associates. And that way we can help you go step by step through this. This training is basically like walking you through the portal. Let us know if you have not received your email with your log information from Advocacy Associates. I've seen that more than half of our advocates that are signed up and registered have not opened that email from Advocacy Associates. So I hope that you guys can find it. And if you really can't, then please reach out. All right, so let's see. 1 second while I start this up. Is that it? Okay, it's coming up. And I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you don't see it. Okay, and it should say online schedules and logistics overview. It does not. Great. Okay, cool. All right, so the main thing right here is, 1 sec, as I fix this mouse here. Well, it doesn't matter. So this is the email that I was referring to. It pretty much kind of looks like this. It should say, from Advocacy Day at advocacyassociates.com. And of course, it'll have your name here. Floppy ears is clearly not what our campaign is called, but this is just to give you an example. And this has all of the important information that you'll need, like where to go to see your schedule and what username and password you'll be using. So it says right here, advocacyday.net/BHE. If you type that in, you'll have to look for our organization, but instead of typing BHE, if one of my team members can put it in, it would be advocacyday.net/solvecfs. And that will take you directly to where you want to be. So let's see here. Please let us know, like I said, if you didn't get this email, and if you are having trouble with something technical, that's the email address down here, support for the Advocacy Associates who runs this portal. Okay, so you have this email. That's the great start. You click that link, advocacyday.net/solve CFS. And you should come to something that kind of looks like this. Okay. And so we're going to go over people who have an existing account and people who are new. Uh, and so if you have an existing account, please try the email address if you remember it, the one that you used before, and the password. And it's okay if you don't know it. There is a forgot account or password button down here. Um, but basically, this is where you go to log in to see your schedule. Okay, and so it says right here, it's highlighting where if you forget your username, what email you used, it's okay. That's what they have these buttons for. You can't remember your password or it's not working, it's okay. That's what this button's for. Let's see. And and this is what happens when you do reset your password. It'll ask you for your email address, and then it'll send you a code. And this will be kind of the hardest thing, is that you'll have to go back to your email and you will have to look for this, and hopefully it doesn't go into junk or spam. And it's going to give you this passcode reset. Don't use the one that's on here. You're going to get a unique one. And this is where you put it right here. And this is right here below is where you get to choose a new password. It's going to ask you to type it again just to make sure you didn't put any typos or anything in there. And when you've looked it over, you're ready to submit. Okay. And then it will bring you back to here. And now you should be able to use the email address that you used and the new password that you used after you've already entered the code. But if you already have it working, then we're now all on the same page. And I think the next slide takes us in. Oh, I see. So if you've never used this before, this is your first year with us, thanks so much. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. And it's going to ask you to create an account, and you'll have to use the email address that you used to register with us, and you pick a password, and hopefully it won't give you too much trouble, and you just type it in again, create account. And again, this is like the hard part, where it's going to go back and it's going to send you an email and you have to verify who you are. And that's really easy. You just use this code, and you click the link and you put it there, right in there, and you should be back here. This is the main starting point. All right. So if it's still not working, there's the support button at the bottom. The Advocacy Associates is really good with getting back to you right away. So hopefully you won't have any issues, but they are a great resource. Okay. So this is the main page, and this is what it looks like on the slide. I'm going to show you our team member Amanda's page, so we can like click through together. And in case anyone has any questions, we can click through the buttons together. And I'll open that up soon. Right now, I just want to show you that what it looks like. Yours might look green instead of red, and that's okay. It doesn't really matter. The important part is for you to see when your meetings are and on what date. Everyone should have meetings, unless you told us otherwise, on April 16th and April 18th with the Senate and House meetings. And there are just a handful of people that we've asked to meet outside of those times because the congressional members were not available, and we really appreciate you guys being really flexible on that. But what's really cool about this is that I encourage you guys to poke around, click on all the buttons. You can't break it. It's fine. Nothing's going to happen other than it's going to show you the information behind all the different places that you click. And it'll give you your meeting time. Can someone in my team confirm if it's the local time, or if it's a different time that these meetings are at? So we'll confirm that for you in a bit. Let's see. Oh, there are some folks who've asked about these TBD meetings. It just means that the office hasn't gotten back to us just yet, and hopefully they'll get back to us soon so that you'll know what time they're available to speak with you, and it just basically means we're waiting to hear back. Don't worry, we should be able to hear back from them soon. Some of these times uh, may change, so I hope that that doesn't inconvenience anyone too much. If you can't make any of these meetings, please reach out right away because it really reflects poorly if there's no shows or maybe meeting starts late because people are waiting for you. And so um, if you're not sure, just reach out to give us a heads up. You can either do that through the app, which I'll show you, or you can just send out an email to me. Okay. Oh, well, this one says it's local time. So whatever time you're in, I guess it'll adjust the timing to your time zone. And if you click each of the meetings, it's actually full of information. So I really encourage everybody to like click around. You'll be able to get the main information about what date, what time, and with who just right there. And when you guys on the date and time, I encourage everyone to go 10 minutes early to the meeting, just, to get any technicalities out of the way. Like, is your sound working? Is your video working? Do you need to restart your computer? Hopefully other members of your group have also joined, so you guys could talk if you haven't talked beforehand about meeting order, or maybe items that you wanted to focus on. So, but when you're ready to start, it would be right there in join virtual meeting. If you can't join from your computer, there is this dial in option, and that kind of works like Zoom does in the sense where it will join you to the meeting without a video picture and just the audio. That's really helpful if your internet isn't working so well, or if you are not near your computer. Let's see. So this other place is documents and resources is pretty handy. Um, and so is the talking points. So like if you feel a little flustered or you're not quite sure what to say, it's great to just go through the talking points right here. And we've listed many of them for you and just pick one that you feel, is closest to your experience. And we're not sponsoring any bill this year, so you won't see anything here, and that's okay. So don't worry about that. You'll also have a list of the other people who are in your meeting, which is really great. So hopefully these are familiar names, and they'll have whether or not who the meeting lead is. If you've never been a meeting lead before, don't worry, I'm going to go over um, a couple of things about what to expect as a meeting lead, and it's really not that hard. It's just where we have someone who speaks first to introduce everybody and to make sure that everyone gets some time to speak who wanted to speak, and that the constituent is identified. It's really important. Our congressional members really like to know who is the constituents in that group meeting, and you'll see this little icon next to them. So that'll be easy to identify. Let's see what other stuff we have here. Oh, if you want to send a thank you email, it's a great way to help us follow up with them, and we have this convenient little button here that will open up your email, the one that you normally use, and you can type in there. I believe when you click on it, we'll also have a little prompt that you can like copy if you want to do that as well. And so it'll look like this side over here, where it'll send it to the congressional member. And it already has like the subject filled in. And if you wanted to add more to it, like please do it. It'll make it easier for us to follow up for you. And let's see what else we have here. we have the meeting report form. It's really helpful for us to just get more information on how like the meeting went. Like, was it a staffer who took your meeting, or was it the your congressional representative? You know, how much did they know about our cause? You know, or about what you've been going through? Um, you know, and it'll have other questions like that. And if you can just take a moment to fill that out, that'll really help us, you know, to follow up and to improve the whole process. Um, so there is this section right here called meeting notes, and that's viewable to everyone who is in this web portal, not just in your group meeting. Anyone can click on it and see it. So I would be um, I don't want to say be careful about what you write here, but just make sure that it's accurate, and just that it's accurate, I guess, because it will be available for others to see. And in case you wanted to give any more feedback, everyone will be able to see it here. It's where I was telling you about where, like, we wanna take note on whether, um, the congressional representative was there or if only staff was there, so we can get a sense of how often they, meet with their constituents, and that'll be a really helpful metric for us. Let's see. You also have this option if you're up for it. They've made it easy for you to like post to Facebook or LinkedIn that you've met with your congressional member and about your experience there, and perhaps maybe encouraging other people um, to join us for our social media day where we get more the word out, or anything else that you feel up for. Let's see. Um, Oh, yes. Now we're talking about this left-hand bar over here. And I encourage you to click around to see what's available in those different things. Um, I don't know if it's on this slide, but if it isn't, I just want to point out that this little right here gives you a about the congressional member and what they have basically made public about them. And so if you wanted to read more about them, that was where you would get it. Here under bills, there won't be anything, so don't worry too much about that. Um, Here, again, these are just like quick little questions. It isn't like 20 or anything. They're usually like 1 to 3, just to tell us about your experience so that we can continue to make it better and to make it more accessible for everyone. Let's see here. This was the profile I was talking about. So there's 2 ways to get to the profile, through legislators, and through that little icon I had shown you earlier. This is where you get to learn more about them if you have the time to go through that. Or if you don't have the spoons, it's okay. It's just good that you know who your legislators are. This is one way to make it easy to email the Advocacy Associates support team if you have any questions, if you're running late, um, if the time doesn't work for you anymore, if I don't know, anything that comes up that would be helpful for them to um, anticipate how the meetings are going to go and to make it go as smooth as possible. You can do this here at any point, even now, later, afterwards. As long as you have access to the web portal, you can contact them through this email here. And this is the last slide for this part of it. And it's just some things to keep in mind. As I've mentioned, if you have not received your email from Advocacy Associates, I would try to look for it now, either in your spam or junk folder, or running a search right here for advocacyassociates.com. Um, as I had mentioned, it's helpful to show up 10 minutes early. You don't really want to show up any earlier than that because sometimes they use the same meeting code to have the back-to-back meetings. There will be like 15 minutes in between each meeting, so it's okay to show up 10 minutes early, but I wouldn't show up any earlier than that. And I guess this answers the question. The time shown is to the time of where you're in. So if your computer has the right time, then I think that's where it takes the time to show you in that portal. Um, we want to know right here if the office doesn't join the meeting within 10 minutes after it started, because that's really important to know if we want to find out what happened. You know, did they tell us that they needed to change it? Did they just not care? We want to get down to what happened. And so if after 10 minutes they don't show up, then please let us know. There was more, and I don't know how to get back. Hold on. There we go. There it is. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, this is a reminder that the support tab in that portal, you can let folks know right away if you're going to be late, if you can't make it, or if something else is happening. Just please communicate. Uh, some meetings are only 15 minutes, um, and uh, and some go to 30, something in between. And that's why we ask that you have a short intro about yourself and maybe like 2, 3 minutes um, t- about your story. And if there's more time, then you can expand. And if there isn't, then hopefully everyone got a chance to say what they wanted to say. Let's see, it says that any changes to your schedule will always be sent via your email. So I think checking your email is a good place to see if anything's changed. If you're logged into the web portal, it's not mentioned here, but you have something called notifications, and it should tell you on there. I'm going to log into my team member's account so that you can see what I'm talking about. And of course, it's good to have good Wi-Fi. If you're not feeling well enough to speak, we do have that phrase we ask you all to keep in mind, to say that you are not well enough to talk today, but that you stand with your fellow advocates, and just mute your microphone so that there isn't any interruptions from any background noises. And just to there were some questions on what to wear, and I encourage everyone to wear something comfortable but appropriate, and ensure that anyone that you might have in the background or anything else that might be in the background is also appropriate. So for right now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see here. Um, and before I go on to the next section where I'll be clicking on a real Advocacy Associates account for the web portal, what do you think, team? Should I open it up to questions? Is there any question that keeps coming up that I should take the time to do right now? Let's see. Someone asked if they should all have gotten the email with a link to their schedule at this point. And the answer is yes. Everyone should have gotten one. Please let us know if you can't find it or if you did not. It's best to check the spam, junk, or run a search for advocacyassociates.com. Let's see. Does anyone else have another question right now? What happens if the meetings run long or are late? I would ask the team lead, or the team lead maybe assign someone to fill out that support tab and to let Advocacy Associates know that the meeting has been running late. Or that you're going to be late to your next meeting. And basically, we ask that you just continue to communicate with us either through that support tab. Is probably the best one because it goes to us and to the Advocacy Associates team. And so you're more likely to get a faster response having so many people having access to that support email. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I am going to share my screen again, and I'm going to show you what it's like, an actual account looks like. 1 second. Okay. All right, so this is my team member, Amanda's account. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sign out first. And so this is basically what it looks like. You don't need this login part, but basically it's advocacyday.net/solve MECFS. And you can type the login part either way, it's gonna work. Watch, I'll show you. So it comes back here. My internet's a little slow because I'm doing the video as well, but here it comes. Okay, and so now it has our logo. Here's where you put in your email. Here's where you put in the password if you already have it. If not, if you forgot, like I said, you click this button here. If you need help here, if this is your first time, you might have to do the create account part. So we're gonna sign in. Okay, I'm gonna hit skip for now because this isn't my account, but feel free to verify your email address. It's just so if you lose your password or don't know how to get in, they have a way of reaching you to make sure it's you. I'm just gonna skip for now. And here we see the meetings that Amanda has. And so she has 2 meetings on April 16th, and she's got 3 meetings on the 18th and 1 TBD meeting that we're waiting to hear back from. And so here, Amanda's identified as a constituent of Senators Kristen Semina at 11. And this is, right now it says Pacific Standard Time, because that's the time that I'm in. But it also tells you it's 2 p.m. Where they are. Okay, and if you click on that arrow, here is, that relevant time and who we're meeting with. Here are some documents. I think this is part of the white paper we were talking about. And here are the talking points that I had mentioned. It's a lot, so just pick one. You don't have to say all of these. These are just to give you options to choose from. And these are all the people who are in her meeting. As you can see, Sonia here is the meeting lead. And so I talked to Advocacy Associates, and they have not allowed to be able to to be able to email folks anymore on the site. So we told you that you could do it, but I guess they can't do it anymore. And that's okay. You can send an email out to me at raquelvalencia@solvecfs.org, telling us that you've given permission for me to relay a message or send your contact information to the other people in your group. And like I said, you can find your group for every meeting. Under attendees, they'll be right here. If you're already familiar with those names or you see them in the chat, they've given permission, for you to reach out to them. Here is that join virtual meeting button that hopefully you'll be able to press 10 minutes before this time to kind of settle in. If you need to use your phone instead, that's where you find that. Here's that thank you email, the meeting report form, meeting notes. This is, we ask you, to check if your Congress member was there or if it was just the other staff members. And like I said, you won't see anything here under bills. And you are welcome to see all the profiles, of all the legislators right here. And if you want to send, if you, have a question or, can't make it or have something else you want to reach out to us, this is a very good place to do it. Under more, there isn't really like a lot that I really want to point out here, but feel free, to click around and see what's in there. You know, um, these are like all of our participants on here, but that's pretty much the gist of it. The hard part, I would say, is just getting signed on, making sure you put in that verification code, and that you know what time you're expected to be at these meetings. And let's see, now I want to open up to a few more questions before I do a short review on what it means to be a group lead and what else to expect. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Emily, for telling folks what the meeting leader is expected of them. I'll have a little graphic as well for those who might want to see it that way. Let's see. Yes, for those of you who do have a lot of people in your meeting, it's really great to coordinate, how long your introductions or stories are going to be, how many of you actually want to talk. I mean, even if you don't talk, it really does make a difference for the congressional members or the staffers to see how many people came to the meeting, how many people are behind this cause, and we show most support in the higher numbers. So if you're not feeling well, please take your health as a priority. But if you think you're feeling well enough to, at least show up and see that there is yet one more person that thinks this is very important enough to be there, and that they're not feeling well, and that something needs to be done to help find the cure and to raise awareness for these conditions. Let's see, the last thing I want to do before we open up to questions, second. Let me share my screen one last time. Here we go. Okay, so just a couple more slides. And basically, this is just a review. Please arrive on time or early to meet your team, or if you want to meet up beforehand, we do have on next Monday office hours. You can meet with our team, or you could send us an email to let us know that we have your permission to send your contact information to your team. And so at these meetings, basically, and remember, don't arrive more than 10 minutes early. So at this meeting, when it starts, hopefully you'll be there a couple minutes early. When it starts, you'll introduce yourselves, you'll identify the constituent. You might be in a group with other folks from the same state, but it's not your district. And that's again to have the like support in numbers, and also they're like probably the people who joined you in your district meeting, and now you're going to their district meeting. And just to so we have a cluster of people who are in the similar group. The group lead is probably the one who's going to be doing a lot of this. So as the group lead, you'll wait for the staffer to address the group. You say like, welcome, and hopefully be able to just call on people, and everyone will get a chance to speak. And we asked if you could take a moment to fill out the thank you form and the meeting report. That way, it'll make it easier for us to be able to follow up on your meeting. This is a lot of folks have asked me like what it means to be a group lead. Emily had put it in the chat, but this is another place I wanted to show you folks. And it's not too hard. It just requires showing up a little bit early and making the introductions. We'll put our tagline again in the chat. it's important to identify the constituent just because the congressional member wants to be sure that um, they're in the meeting and that they are heard because they're the ones that they're being represented. And hopefully you guys can help with like the time management to make sure everyone gets a chance to speak. And then they do the wrap up. So basically the like group lead is the person who will be initiating a lot of things instead of everyone like being quiet and looking at each other. The group lead is basically just going to be the one to start things off. Um, we've gone over some of these things in our other training, and I just wanted to bring it up again to clarify by what we mean by be positive. It doesn't mean that you should hide or neglect any pain or suffering or frustration that you've gone through. It just means that leave it on a positive note, as in the congressional member is in a position to help. And that's what we mean by being positive. Like there is something they can do about it, there is something that can be done um, in order to help you and the rest of us. And so I just wanted to clarify what we mean by that. You are welcome to take notes. Um, these are some good ways to like maybe correct some things that maybe the congressional member or staffer says in order for you to be able to continue with your story. Let's see. Oh, this is just a reminder that if your congressional member representative is not in the meeting, that it's still very important, that you take the staffer very seriously because they're basically run the office. They're the ones who put the legislation in front of the congressional officers, and they're very important. And so you should not be dismissive of them. Let's see what else is on here. Oh, yes. These are ways to like narrow down your story to fit in the time constraints and get basically the bullet points of being brief, being brilliant, and then being done. And then that way the next person can also say their main points. Um, yeah, try to be nice. We want them to listen to us, to not be dismissive. We want them to feel like there is something that they can do for us. We want to build these relationships so that we can all work together towards um, this solution. Oops, it went too fast. Um, Very important things. Please stick to your schedule. Don't miss a meeting. Please let us know if you think you might miss a meeting because it reflects really poorly if you don't end up showing up. If you're running late, please reach out. All we ask is that you communicate. Please let us know, and there are several ways to do that through that web portal support. You can send an email out to me. Um, that's another way to do it. Stay on message, very important because there's only so much time that we have with each meeting. And let's see what else. I think that was it that I wanted to bring up. And I just know I've talked a lot here. And so I want to open it up. If you know how to you can ask your questions in the chat, or if you know how to raise your hand in Zoom, feel free to do so, and I will see about how I can unmute folks so we can take live questions. And I'm also going to stop the recording, so we don't need that part. So thanks everyone for coming to this training. Please stay if you have questions.